Well, welcome class to week 3 of PRM 601 Project Scope and Scheduling. Again, this is Bill Johnson, your instructor. This week we look at the foundations of scheduling, primarily by examining what is involved in the critical path methodology. Now, let me give you a little bit of a hint here. The critical path methodology is not the easiest to understand, so it may require a little bit more effort on your behalf this week. The critical path methodology really focuses on taking the tasks that you identified last week in your WBS and sequencing them into an order of completion in what is known as a network diagram. In addition, you determine the duration that each of those tasks will take. Given that network diagram, you can then determine what is the critical path for your project by adding up the durations of each of your tasks over each of the various paths that exist within your project. That's the basic behind the critical path, but it also does a few other things. You can also determine the early start and finish dates for your project. You can also determine the late start and finish dates, and this is done through what is known as the forward and backward passes over the network diagram. The other thing that it identifies is what those tasks that are not on the critical path or the longest duration, how much slack they have or how much wait time that each of those tasks have before it will delay the project. So you can probably tell there's a lot going on within this network diagram. Now I'm going to show you on Monday evening how to create that network diagram and how to do each of those various functions. Identifying the critical path, doing the backward and forward pass to determine the early and start and finish times, as well as the late start and finish times, as well as identifying the slack. So I really encourage you to attend that meeting on Monday evening. Before you do that, however, I very much encourage you to do your reading this week in the Pinto book in chapters 9 and 10, and in the PMBOK chapter 5. Pinto does an excellent job on explaining the critical path methodology, so I very much encourage you to do those readings. Again, it's not an easy concept, so do spend a little bit more effort and do your reading for sure this week. Once you've done that reading, I'm going to expect 4 different assignments from you, and there's a bit of a change in the assignments this week. We give you a little hiatus from your individual project to focus on this by giving you a small generic project to work on for your weekly assignment. So there is a weekly assignment again this week. I encourage you to go to the weekly assignments and read through that. I provide you with a generic project which I would like you to create a network diagram for, identify the critical path, what are some of the early start and finish times for your project, as well as what are the late start and finish times for this project, as well as what are the slack for each of these, for the tasks that do not appear upon your critical path. And there are some additional questions there for you to answer as well. So do go there and take a look at that. We're not working on your individual projects this week. You have a little generic project that I have created for you to work on for your assignment this week. Now, for your assignment, you will also need to use Visio to create your network diagram. So I also hope you have that uploaded as well. So that's your weekly assignment, doing the critical path methodology on this little generic project that I have given you in your weekly exercise area. The discussion hasn't really changed. You'll be doing a rough draft of your network diagram and proposing some answers to those questions that I pose and uploading those into the discussion, and then you'll help each other through the process of answering those questions and identifying what is the critical path and what is the slack for each of your various tasks that you've identified that aren't on your critical task or critical path. Sorry about that. And then there is a quiz again this week. Nothing new there. True, false, multiple choice. Remember that questions can come from previous week's chapters as well as this week. So be aware of that. And then there's what did I learn this week, which focuses on what you learned and how you intend to use it. So those are the 4 assignments this week. The weekly exercise where you'll be creating a network diagram using Visio based on the generic project that I inputted into Engage, as well as the discussion which is based on that generic project that I have, helping you to come to some decisions about what are the various answers. Just be aware, there is one correct answer. There are not multiple correct answers to those questions. And then the quiz, and then what did I learn this week. So with that, I look forward to seeing you on Monday evening at 7:30, where I will be demonstrating the critical path methodology to give you a better understanding of what it includes. And please let me know you have any questions. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.